What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with a great news. Mohamed Foda, who is currently the talk of the town after winning his first pro show, which was Chicago Pro. And now that the scorecard is out, he won that show with perfect scores. He was clearly in the lead both at the prejudging as well as at the finals. Now first of all, let's appreciate the fact that Mohamed Foda was so grateful in this moment that he did not forget to mention his former coach, Hani Remport, and the influence that Hani Remport had over the years. And that influence made him into the competitor that he is today. And now for the great news. Mohamed Foda isn't done just yet. He has more to prove to the bodybuilding world. And as fans, we so appreciate that even though he is qualified for Miss Olympia, but we are gonna get to see him compete at least one more time before this year's Miss Olympia. Now, him skipping this year's Dubai Pro, that still doesn't make any sense for me. He lives and trains there for most part of the year. And the thing is, he's gonna be in Dubai on that same weekend to promote his sponsors. So Foda as of right now did not make it official what show he is going for next. But there are two shows coming up ahead, Dubai and Tampa. And Foda should take the maximum advantage of him being in a top-notch condition right now. He's already in a contest-ready shape. So better put yourself out there and make a name for yourself. And make sure that the judges see your potential. So it will also give him an opportunity to win more cash in the prize money. So at this point in time, he isn't a top 10 Olympian because he has some weaknesses. For instance, his back and his width. Because we saw that at this year's Chicago Pro. The lack of width in that back lat spread shot, that was really visible. And he really needs to work on that. So if he jumps into this year's Dubai Pro, that is going to be such a great addition to that lineup. And do you guys realize what the most interesting part is? If Foda competes in Dubai, Stefan as a coach, he will have three athletes, Nathan Yesha, William Bonac and Foda, fighting for the top spot. So Robin Strand ran from placing 3rd in Van Pro to 16th in Chicago, and that was the biggest shocker. But Robin needs to be 100% spot on to be competitive in these kind of lineups. So he is another addition to Dubai Pro lineup, and he has officially announced it. Vlad gave a perfect reply to everyone who called him an Instagram bodybuilder. He earned the respect of all the bodybuilding fans around the world. So judging by his reply to one of the comments under his post, he's gonna do Tampa Pro. And you can talk about his wide waist, and we know that is true. But the man brought some solid conditioning at this year's Chicago Pro. He was absolutely peeled out of his mind. He looked harder than Foda, especially at the prejudging. He was definitely better than Foda in the rear shots, as well as the side shots. And this wasn't even a perfect prep for him. Because again, let me remind you guys, he had a tricep tear just in February. And he was able to recover at such a fast pace, and even get ready for the show in just under 6 months. So hats off to him for this amazing journey. So as of right now, the big name that has confirmed his attendance at this year's Tampa Pro, that is John De La Rosa. And based on the physique that we saw from him at this year's Arnold Classic Ohio, he's the favorite to win this show. But after Chicago Pro, no one is gonna doubt Vlad. That grainy hard look that he brings to the stage, and the kind of free factor that he has, that is truly one of the best out there. Rafael Brandao also gave us a physique update at 11 days out of this year's Miss Olympia. So Brandao is ready to go full speed ahead, all the way till October, where he's going to be competing at his only second Miss Olympia of his career. So he won the Arnold Classic Brazil in April. So a little break that he had post-Brazil that will allow him to present a fresh look, a fresh package at the Olympia stage. Because one of the reasons he wasn't in shape in Brazil, according to his coach Neil Hill, that was that he dieted for too long, and his body was fighting back in Brazil. So the question is, how much more muscle can we expect to see on Brandao in October? Not only because Rafael isn't a guy like Samson Dauda, who can just blow up from one show to the next, but Rafael has that physique that is going to be fighting for the top 10 no matter what. He has the shape to stand next to anyone and really stand out. So for Brandao, it's just a matter of time, because as Tyler Mannion said, nothing is missing on this guy. He has no weak shots. The only thing that he needs is more density and more size. And the thing is, we hardly come across a bodybuilder who has literally no weak shots. Next up, we have an update from Andrea Presti after completing the 3rd week of his serious training. Because for those of you guys who do not know, he was supposed to compete earlier in the year, but he fell sick. He was originally prepping for Spain Pro when he first got sick, just a week out of the show, and he decided to sit out of that show. And not just Spain, but he decided to skip Portugal Pro as well. And Portugal Pro is that show that he has been winning for the last 2 years, and he has won that show 3 times in a row. But this wasn't his year. And if we are being 100% honest and completely real, Even the best of Presti could not have won that show, either Spain or Portugal, because of the caliber of competition that showed up this time. So Presti's last showing, that was Romania 2023, where he placed well below his own expectations, and actually everyone's expectations. So he was unable to make top 5 in that show, for a very simple reason, that all those guys in that top 5, they had great quads, they had superb legs. And that is Presti's biggest weakness, because his upper half is so damn good, one of the best out there, but his legs do not match up to his upper body. So will Presti try to compete before the Olympia? Well, there isn't a lot of shows left as of right now. A show in France, which is scheduled to be held in 2 weeks before the Olympia. That can be the only option, because that is still 9 weeks away. Next up is the off-season physique update of Regan Grimes. So there won't be another time when Regan takes a full year off in order to get bigger to grow. So he's gonna have to make the maximum out of this one. So Regan was planning to do one pro this year, before he decided to end this season and this contest prep, because he had a baby on the way, and also he did not make enough improvements in order to be in the first call out at the Olympia level. Now Regan has the physique to qualify for the Olympia every single time, and if everything went as per the plan, he could have won one pro quite easily. But you can see where he's coming from in the context of taking another full year off. So last year at the Olympia, he showed us all that he can bring that next level of conditioning. He can be truly shredded. The look that he brought at this past Mr. Olympia, that was an extremely impressive version of him, and that is why he was able to place top 10 in the world. So the Arnold Classic 2025, that is gonna be a good opportunity for all these guys, including Regan Grimes as well, to make a big statement. So expect some big names like Nick, Hadi, and maybe Derek as well to jump into the Arnold next year. So he cannot expect to win that show, but getting that comparison with the top guys, that is gonna be so great for him. Lastly, we have an update from the mutant, Nick Walker. So nothing can shake this man's confidence and his self-belief that he is gonna be Miss Olympia one day. So as per Nick himself, he is gonna be Miss Olympia in 12 weeks time. But I'm sure Derek, Hadi, and Samson Dauda, they would like to say something else.
It motivates me, you know, I thrive off that, so keep doing it. And I'm gonna just shock everybody. And in 12 weeks, I'll take what's mine.
Because to get to Derek, Nick doesn't just need to beat Hadi Chuban, he needs to beat Samson Dauda first. Because the last time these guys competed against each other, that was at the Arnold 2023. Samson was able to get the best of him. But still the biggest blow to his reputation as a top-level Olympia competitor, that was still this past New York Pro. Because he won that show with such difficulty. And that too against a guy who hasn't even made his Olympia debut yet, Man Fitzwater. That wasn't a dominating win. And that wasn't the best of the lineups anyway. And whenever someone doubts that Nick isn't going to be able to win the Olympia based on the fact that he doesn't have a very eye-pleasing physique, his quads aren't big enough, they aren't the best out there, and the fact that he's going to need some help from all these other top guys like Hadi and Derek to be at the top, they are labeled as haters. But in fact, even his coach Matt Jensen said that Nick is going to need some help from Hadi Chuban, and Hadi needs to come in off in order for Nick to beat him. Because the Hadi that we saw at this year's Arnold, Nick Walker isn't beating that version of him. So what are the chances of Nick winning the Olympia this year? Especially if all the other top 3 guys, they also bring their A game. I'm gonna have to say, the chances of that happening, they are looking kinda slim. But do let me know what you guys think. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.